Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make some bacon and cheese scones, or scones. So you all know what scones are, and these are just going to have some bacon and some cheese in, as well as a little bit of spring onion to give an extra zing to the taste, basically. Very simple recipe, and we start off by preheating the oven to 200 degrees Celsius, 180 Celsius with a fan, 390 Fahrenheit, and I've lined my baking tray with a silicone mat, but you can use parchment paper. So I'll go on to the ingredients, and for this I have 260 grams, 1 2/3 cups plus 1 tablespoon of plain flour. That's based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup. I have 5 grams, 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 grams, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 3 grams, half a teaspoon of salt, 6 grams, half a tablespoon of caster sugar, and I'm going to use some black pepper. The amount you use is up to you. I'll just grind some of that in, basically. Then I have 84 grams, 7 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter, which I've cut into cubes, 240 millilitres, 1 cup of buttermilk, and you could use the same amount of milk and put a tablespoon of white vinegar or lemon juice in to the milk, and give it a stir and leave it for 10 minutes, and that will make an equivalent. I have 40 grams, about 3/4 of a cup of grated cheese, and I'm using red Leicester cheese, and I'm using that mainly because of the nice colour. Basically it has a lovely flavour, but you could use cheddar, you could use parmesan or pecorino, whatever you want. I have 30 grams, which is about 1/4 of a cup of bacon, which I have cooked and chopped up quite small, and I'm using streaky bacon there. I have 12 grams, 2 tablespoons of spring onion, and that's all the ingredients. So we simply need to mix that all together into a dough that we can use for our scones. And to start that off, I'm going to put my flour into a larger bowl, and I'm going to add into that the salt and the sugar, the baking powder and baking soda, and I'm going to give those a mix around to get those distributed into the flour, basically. And then I'm going to add my butter in, and I'm going to cut that butter into the flour. Now you can do that by rubbing it between your fingertips if you want, or you can use what I'm going to use to start with, which is my pastry cutter. I'm just going to cut that in until the mixture resembles a sort of coarse breadcrumb like texture. And that's pretty good like that, certainly good enough. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bacon in, and my spring onion and the cheese, and I'm just going to give those a stir around to get those mixed through. Like that, and then I'm going to pour in most of my buttercream, but not all of it. So I'm going to hold back a couple of tablespoons because I may not need all of it, and I'm going to mix that through until I get a shaggy dough, and get all the ingredients combined into each other, and I can add more liquid if I need to. And that's mixed through quite nicely, and I didn't use all of my buttermilk, and I'm going to put that onto a floured work surface. It's quite tacky, so you need to flour it. And I should say that I did grate some pepper into my dough. What I've done is I've just turned that over on some flour, and I'm squeezing that together to get it combined. And then I'm simply going to pat it down into a disc of about 7 inches or 18 centimetres, like that. And I have here a cookie cutter which is 7.5 centimetres or 3 inches in diameter, and I'm simply going to press that down, straight down, like that, and then up and then down again, and again, like that. And I'm going to put those onto my baking tray and push the dough together and do the same again. And with the scones pressed out like that, I'm simply going to take a little bit of my buttermilk that's remaining, and I'm going to brush it on the top, but I'm going to make sure that I don't let the buttermilk run down the side, because that will inhibit the rise, basically make them rise unevenly, which they may do anyway. Scones don't always rise straight up. And with those all brushed like that, I'm going to put those into the oven, and I'm going to bake them for 18 to 20 minutes until they've risen nicely and coloured on the top. And then I'll take them out of the oven and put them onto a wire rack, and when they've cooled down I'll come back and I'll show you the results and we'll have a taste. So I baked my scones for 20 minutes and they rose up quite nicely and coloured nicely on the top. I took them out of the oven and I've allowed them to cool down. Now I should say that I made quite large ones. You can make smaller ones if you want to, and I've got 5 nice good sized ones here, so I'll show you what they look like. And as you can see, they've baked up quite nicely, and there's that nice crack that you often get with scones all the way around, easy to break in half. And I've actually broken one in half, and I've put some butter on half of it, and that's the other half there. You can see the texture. So I'll have a taste of this one. Lovely and soft inside, slightly crisp on the outside, but I think that crispness will actually soften a little bit as they're stored, if you store them. But these are best eaten on the day you make them, or you can freeze them if you want to. But I have that lovely cheesy flavour, and I do get that little hint of the spring onion and of the bacon as well, and the bacon gives that extra little bite into the scone. So a very simple recipe, very tasty, and these are ideal just to eat with some butter for lunch or something, or even for breakfast. But they're also very good, I think, to have with some soup, or instead of a dinner roll at dinner time, something like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well, and I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.